The process in an aquaponic system has a number of different steps to it and a number of different aspects that are involved in the whole process. Basically, it is a cycle that starts here with the fish food, and the fish are fed the food, which of course they eat, and they also spend time swimming around. They're excreting waste, and they're also processing the oxygen and other nutrients out of the water, and that's passing across their gills, and they're excreting different types of ammonia. That ammonia is then picked up in this standpipe, and as it overflows into this container here. And this container here has a number of different biological filter media, including the bio balls. I've got some ceramic biological media in there. And the ammonia is picked up by a bacteria. It grows in the presence of ammonia called nitrites. It creates nitrites. And the nitrites are then picked up by another bacteria, and that bacteria converts those into nitrates, and the nitrates are then carried up to the grow beds, which you can see here. And the grow beds also have a large bacteria colony that forms in and around the gravel, which is the grow media that the plants are planted in. And the roots are being constantly flooded with a steady source of nitrates and other nutrients from the fish waste. I also have some red worms in there, and red worms are eating any decayed matter, any fish waste that gets picked up and into the grow beds, and that all contributes to basically the cycle that makes the aquaponic system work. And then, of course, as the water filters down through the gravel and is then pulled out through the bell siphon, it flows back into the fish tank, and it basically has been cleaned and filtered by the plant roots and by the gravel or whatever grow media is there. And the water comes back in. It's returned to the fish, essentially clean, free of any major contaminants. And of course it also oxygenates the water. And that basically is the cycle of the aquaponic system. Now, as for lighting in my system, a lot of people have their systems in greenhouses or in areas where there's quite a bit of light. Because I live in Illinois and we have winter in Illinois, I've got this system set up in the garage, and we do have a heater in the garage, so I can keep the temperature in the garage at roughly 70 degrees or so throughout the winter. I may end up building a box around this whole setup with insulation board and trying to cut down on the cost of heating the whole garage and just heat the area where the plants are at. But what I've got up here, and it's kind of hard to see because it is so bright, but I have a series of fluorescent tubes. I've also got some CFL lights up there, and off to the far left there is a LED light that I'm kind of experimenting with as well. And this is all of my light for these plants, other than probably a week or so when I was first germinating the seeds before I transplanted them into the grow beds. These plants have grown specifically and entirely using fluorescent light and LED light. Now, one addition I just did have a couple of weeks ago was this LED light here, which is a single 30-watt LED light that is basically providing the light for this small grow bed down here. Now, this tomato plant a couple of weeks ago was real spindly and kind of small because I was just using the LED grow light that I bought. It's kind of a disappointment. The plants did grow, but they really were not growing to the degree that they should have. I put the LED light on there, and they pretty much exploded. And I'm actually getting some of my best new blooms for tomatoes in the future are coming there. And actually, it's kind of hard to see, but if you look right there, that little bloom closest to the camera actually has a small tomato up inside there. So that's actually my first tomato that I'm aware of. So I'm kind of excited to see how this all works out. Anyways, that is basically my indoor aquaponic system. And if you have any questions, feel free to send me a message or an email, and I'll tell you what I know.